Hey guys, Kyle here. Hey, let's do a quick video on triple dual normal rates, and we'll talk a little bit about Expo also. Most of the time when you get an airplane in the manual, it'll tell you about your different rates. Not all airplanes, but a lot of the airplanes. It'll tell you where your triple or a full rate may be, dual rate may be in the middle, normal rate would be a little lower. So by that I mean, if you set up the three rates on like a triple switch on your transmitter, you would have full deflection on one, okay, that may be your triple rate. Dual rate maybe about right here, normal rate maybe down here, okay? So three different control surface deflections. That's basically all it is. Well, if you're a little lower, the airplane's going to fly a little smoother, right? Because you're not going to get as much deflection. So when it comes to triple dual low rates, I don't use them. I don't set them up. I don't use them. I do use some low rates, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But guys, I don't use this. Never have. Never had the need to. Too much switching going on. I can't tell you how many times I've had watched somebody come in and they'll mess up a landing, and they turn around and say, "Oh man, I forgot to go back to my normal rates. I had it in low rates." And they might even be a newbie, and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh man." So what do we do to minimize our controls? We put in Expo, okay? So if I move, what is Expo? If I move my control, my stick on the transmitter, say, I don't know, a quarter of an inch, it's gonna go here. If I put in Expo, it'll only go to here, okay? It's a smooth linear transition depending on how much Expo you put in, to smooth out your control surfaces, okay? That's what I do. I can tell you right now that on most of my airplanes, including my jets, I'll have 40% Expo across the board, 40% Expo in each control surface. And it could be more than that. And remember, I've flown for quite a while, so don't be afraid to dial in as much Expo as you might need. Another reason I don't like the setting up these dual rates is that when you're flying, you're not here. You're not here, okay? When you're flying an airplane, you're here. You're little tiny movements, okay? So I really don't care about changing those rates because I know I'm not going to be way up there, okay? We're not going to make it a cranky airplane like we talked about before in another video. You're just going to be tight. Little movements. Little movements is how you fly. So, I don't use them, guys. If you use them, great. Man, if it works for you, that's fantastic. When would you want to use them? When would I use them? In a competition. If I was maybe wanting to do some really smooth maneuvers and it was easier for me to switch to a mid-rate or something, I would use it. But as a newbie, and just flying around the club, Portland barnstormers, don't use it. Don't use it. Use Expo. See how it works for you. Now, I do use low rates, okay? Mostly just on my elevator. On some airplanes, okay? This airplane, I clock at 155 miles an hour. Stock setup. But this thing's doing 155 miles an hour. So I am using low rates on my elevator, okay? So when it's going so fast, when I switch it to low rates, you just don't have that movement. So it's much smoother. You can get lower to the ground, and you're not going to be moving around too much. So I do flip it to low rates. Guess what? Sometimes when I come into land, I forget to put it back to normal rates. And my flare is different, right? I don't have as much elevator. So you got to remember to put it back. also love to set up the rates on a switch. And I do have low rates set up on my EDF jets. They're in the 140 mile an hour speed range. And at high speeds, I do go to low rates with the elevator.
Low rates. Normal rates.
And I love having...
Low rates. Normal rates.
I love having my transmitter talk to me. If you have that capability, do it. Because when you're in the air, you're flying, you're not looking down, right?
Low rates.
It's really nice to confirm that you're going to normal rates. Why don't I like setting up all these different rates? Imagine me flying my Cub, my real Cub, and being at the end of the runway and saying to myself, you know what, I'm gonna minimize my control surfaces to make it a little smoother. No, you're getting in trouble and I don't have my controls there. Are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. So if you put it in a little Expo, you have that smoothness with your control surfaces, but you also have full deflection in case you need it. There's no way I would change the rates on my real Cub. Now, in the airliners, we do. At higher speeds, deflections will change. At higher speeds on the runway on rollout, my nose won't turn as far as if I'm taxiing slow, okay? So there is rate changes with the airliners, but you know, it's usually just for speed, and that's why I use low rates in speed. I don't really even go to low rates with my ailerons at high speed. You could. I'm just barely making increments with my sticks, just nice and easy movements. So I don't tend to go to low rates with my ailerons. Anyway, guys, that's my 2 cents. If it works for you, that's great. This is just an easier way to do it, I think, and it works for me. So cheers, boys. And don't forget that airspeed's everything. And if you happen to be watching the video and you're not a Portland barnstormer, come out and see us. We're in Butteville, south of the Portland area. PortlandBarnstormers.org. Love to have you come out. Come out on a Saturday when the weather's decent. Lighter winds. There'll probably be a lot of guys out at our airstrip. Anyway, check us out on the web. Thanks a lot, guys. See ya.